Tell me if y'all can hear me because I can't hear myself. Hello, hello, hello. I cannot hear anything. I don't know. Can y'all hear me? Boo. I can't hear myself. What's up? Hold on. Oh, you can? Can you hear me? Okay. I can't hear myself. I don't know why. I got all my settings up. As long as you can hear me. Okay, hold on a minute. Hold on. Okay. Is that better? That might be better. Is that better? It is soft talking. But let me see if I can get it better. So, how did y'all like that? Was that fun? Let me get my stuff here. Um, too many things going on. Can you hear me better, Squat Bob? Wolfkinder will be here in a minute. We're going to talk about the Mothman. Yeah, I know. Shh. Abyss, you did so good. You are so smart. Yay. Some of those were really weird. Like that one, I don't even know what that is. I don't know. I need to find out because that was pretty cool. And Valhalla, he showed up and he didn't even get to see his name. So Abyss, Valhalla, he's called the goat daddy because he has a goat farm. Well, a farm with goats, not a goat farm, but a farm with goats. So he has lots of goats. So anyway, um, it's so weird because I can't hear myself very well. Uh, But as long as y'all can hear me, I'm good. Um, hold on, let's see what. Um, so bear with me a second. Um, I got too many things. So why is that doing that? I don't know. I don't know because y'all are there. So anyway, it's not showing on my side that this is active, but obviously it is. So we're going to talk about the Mothman. Um, but first, I was going to say, so we're not going to, we're just doing this today on Saturday, but we're not normally going to do it on Saturday, mainly because I'm pretty, I don't want to give up my whole weekend for streaming. Sorry. I'm not. Um, but I like to go out and not have that. Oh, okay, Wolfkinder. That's fine. Just whenever, just click that link and come over. Even if you want to, even if you want to work on it on this side, it's fine. And I'm forgetting. I'm forgetting to click on my buttons because I'm not used to doing this live stream stuff. So, Abyss, I am so glad you are here. You make my heart happy. So, Squab Bob and so Wolfkinder knows that she was here. Malloy, you thought it was fun. You came in late. Did you have fun with Susan? I hope so. I hope so. Shh, the monsters are here. Oh, so well, hold on a minute. What? He might. He's watching. The Mothman is watching. Okay, look. Click on the top, not where the box is, because I had that mistake the first when I was trying to do it. Click in the top, the very top link that, that says that HTTPS. Click on that. You'll get it. Hey, if I can get it, you can get it. Because I'm not used to doing this. Uh, and so my light is changing again because the sun is going down. So we'll wait a minute before I get my camera back on, doing different. Um, hold on a minute. Let's turn this one off. Oh, maybe that'll help. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I've got at some point I'll put a backdrop up, but y'all know me. It's not all about that. It is not all about that. Don't do it, Wolfie. That's what I've been calling her, Wolfie. Uh, that's where yes, the wolf man, the wolf man, the Mothman, the wolf man, the Mothman is coming. The Mothman will be here in just a moment. Yes, we need to get prepared for the wolf man. Let's get the wolf man up here. Wolf man. I keep saying wolf man. Here, we've got the Mothman up here now. Okay, so let me get back over here. Whoops. I hope he's not in my in your closet either. Oh, Vala, you might be afraid of this one. It eats goats. He does. He eats goats. Okay, so hold on. All right. So as soon as Wolfie gets over here, unless it's really big, it is big. It's at least 7 foot tall. Yeah, it can get you. Yes. Okay, I'm so glad that you said that, Malloy. So if you see up here, I think I'm pointing to it. Oh, no, it's over here on my screen. Over here. This is PG-13 right now. All right. So PG-13. Okay. Anytime we are in public, we're going to be PG-13. I will have a membership where I'm working on that, where it can be more R-rated, but I want it to be safe for everyone. So Abyss is 12, and I want it to be a safe place for my younger people who listen to Grandma's House. So, so anyway, that's not a word I know. See, you're so smart. Don't be afraid of the moths, except unless you have a lot of wool clothing, and then you might wanna be afraid of them, but then you need to just cedar. Just get some cedar and you're good. Yeah, it's 7 foot tall. We're gonna talk about that when Wolfie gets here. I don't know what she's doing. A 7-foot moth is stuff that would only appear in your nightmares. No, it's not safe. Yes, yes. So, we are gonna be PG-13, alright? So that we don't have to worry about, what our younger crowd hears. Did you? I don't know. I don't know what that is. Abyss is way smarter. I don't know. I don't know if Abyss is male, female. I don't know. I just know whoever it is, Abyss is very smart, very proud. Very proud of this young 12-year-old. Hi, Lovey. Hi. Hi, Clumsy. Okay, technical difficulties. Something is blocking your mic. Um, maybe if you reboot, maybe? I don't know. Plug it, unplug it, plug it back. Moths are the bane of my existence. You do not talk like a 12-year-old. Are you sure you're 12? Once I was on the verge of crying because I couldn't get down to the kitchen because it was above the doorway. Then when I finally faced my fear, it's just a moth. If you pinch the wings, they can't fly because it gets that moth stuff off. The moth flew at you. They're not gonna hurt you with this, I promise. I promise. Okay, good. Okay. So she. That's what I wanna call you, but I didn't know. And I'm not all into the woke stuff. So, um, if I offend somebody, I'm sorry, but I'm too old. I can't change all that. Um, it flew at you. It flew at her. Oh, no. Sometimes fears don't make sense. I know. Yeah, I read it right. I knew what you were talking about. Sense. Oh my goodness, y'all are funny. All right. Well, I'm just gonna talk here for a little bit until Wolfie here comes on because I want to talk about the Mothman with my girl Wolfie. Um, the Mothman is so cool. My brother used to send me. My brother used to use me as a human shield. Oh my goodness. Uh, uh, so, I'll just say this, if your older brother does show up here on my channel, um, he better be nice, 'cause I don't play like that over here, okay? Just saying. Y'all be keep it nice, 'cause I will get, I will I'm telling you, I'm gonna be strict, so we're not playing all that. The symbolism of a moth is death. Oh, whoopsie. And transcendence to the afterlife. Oh, okay. That's okay. And rebirth. Okay, now those are good. Transcendence into the afterlife. That's not so bad. Rebirth is good. So clumsy. rebirth can be not just in an actual life, but as in rebirth of something in your life, right? I don't know. I might be wrong, but um, just like death doesn't always mean death as in life, but death as in something in your life. I don't know. I might be wrong about that. You're the one that knows all that stuff. I believe you. I believe you're 12. I don't think you would lie about that. But you're so smart, sweetheart. You are so smart. I love it. I love it. Everybody else in here in this chat already know me. Um, and they know I am all about kids. I am all about the brain. So you don't know that I've had literal brain damage. And so I am all about healing the brain and making your brain work. And that's why I'm doing a lot of these games because it's really, really good for your brain. And sweetheart, you are super smart. You do not sound like a 12-year-old. So that's good. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yes, we are going to be nice here. Squab Bob, you're funny. No, there isn't any trying. We are going to be nice, everybody. Yes, as in within yourself or even a situation. All right, that's what I was thinking. That it doesn't just mean death, as in you're 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 dead. It can be a situation. It can be a state of mind. It can be the rebirth or the death of something and coming back as better. So that's what I thought. Yes, being nice is the safe and simple way of life. Yes, and here we are going to be nice to everybody. I will even be nice to those who come in here and start stuff, but it's not going to last but 2 seconds and then gone. I'm not playing that. Babies always cry when they're born, always. Not exactly when they're actually born, it takes them a second, and then the crying actually clears out their lungs, so babies crying is good. Abyss, keep feeding your brain, lovey. Always be the student is what I tell myself at any and every age. We all can keep learning. Absolutely. Seriously, if y'all knew what I was like a couple of years ago, I'm not joking when I say I could not I could not remember my son's name looking at him. I could not I could not read my name on a piece of paper that I wrote. I didn't recognize my name. Um, so I have had to retrain or rewire, I should say, rewire my brain. Um, so you can absolutely reteach yourself. You can learn. So anyway, Val, he's not going to be a bully here. He's going to be good. Oh, I know Wolfie's over there getting just like all like, ah, I can't do it. Ah. Yes, that's all we get here is positive energy. That's what ASMR is all about. This isn't going to be your typical ASMR channel, but we are going to have ASMR positive energy. So, um, yes, Malloy is learning at 71. We just celebrated his birthday, Abyss. So, anyway, all right. What now? Yeah, I'm sure the Mothman is probably misunderstood. He's really a nice guy. We're going to talk about what the Mothman is. Like, so I'm going to go ahead and ask y'all while we're waiting on my girl Wolfie to come over. Um, What do you think? Okay, first of all, have you ever heard of the Mothman? Tell me in the comments. Do you know? Have you ever heard of the Wolfman, the Mothman? Death in tarot is often ending or change. Right. See, I know some, but not a lot about that. That's why I need you. No pressure, Wolfkinder. It's not like the whole stream is waiting on you. I can do it without her. I just don't want to. I don't want to. They have a statue of the Mothman in one of the states, the one that um, was the first seen. Yes, which is in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Um, the other day, my brain, and I was just kind of trying to remember. I was close. I said Mount Pleasant, and I knew Virginia, but it's actually West Virginia. So it's um, Point Pleasant, West Virginia, and it's right on the Ohio, like on the Ohio River, East Coast, New Jersey, New York area, West Virginia, Valhalla. But in pure honesty, please don't be a big bully. He will not. It's not accepted, okay? Don't worry about that, Abyss, okay? Did you do a stream on it? Um, so what on one of the channels that I had that I took down, um, the one I took down because that was Jordan's father that a I did the channel with him. And, that's when I just, um we got a restraining order. We'll just say that. And so I took the whole channel down. But I did a stream on that. Well, it wasn't a stream, it was a video about that. And, he said what he knew. I said what I knew. And I actually went back to and watched that again so I could remember what I talked about because I couldn't remember. But anyway, yeah, it's West Virginia. Abyss, we are all kinda know each other. Yeah, we do. So, actually, Abyss, everybody that's in here right now, except for you, but now you're part of us now. Um, we already know each other from other streams and stuff. So, so they're cutting up with each other, but they're gonna behave, and they know I'm not gonna play. So everybody's gonna be nice, and we're gonna be PG-13 in this sphere right here. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, it is. I did I do have pictures of it. I don't know how to do that. I should have put some of them in here. I only did the Mothman guy up here. Um, but it's actually stainless steel. It's a big stainless steel sculpture statue, and it stands in the main street of Point Pleasant, and people get their get their pictures made all the time there. They have a big, huge festival the third weekend of September every year. They've been doing it for, let's see, they started doing it right after the movie The Mothman Prophecies came out. And when that movie came out, everybody started coming to Point Pleasant because they wanted to see where the bridge, where the bridge collapsed and all that stuff. So, anyway, they decided, there's this one man, and I can't remember his name, Uh, I can't remember. Wolfkinder might know. Um, but he has the world's only Mothman museum, and he and another person started thinking about it, and they're like, "We need to do something because everybody's coming after the movie." And, they decided to have this festival, and they didn't think anything about it. And just the first year, a lot of people came, but then every year after that, it just grows and grows and grows, and so now it's this big, huge thing, and, they have vendors, and I know they have, cotton candy, and they call the cotton candy, moth floss, but it's super cool, but it's the 3rd weekend of every September that they have that. So, anyway, um in Valhalla's defense, he's mostly always nice. Just a tiny bit sarcastic. Yeah, you're good. Speaking of creepy statues, do y'all know I love that she says not y'all. She's over here in the South too. Um, oh, didn't you say oh, I can't remember where you said you're from. Did you say Tennessee? I think I think you did. Valhalla's in Tennessee. Do y'all know about the blue horse from Denver International Airport? Yes, I know about it because I used to be in Colorado. Oh, you used to be in Colorado. Yes, we're going to have to talk about that airport because there's some creepy goings on there. A lot of creepies going on there. We'll have to talk about that. Yes, a lot of weird stuff. Oh my, I've been inside because I never thought, oh, really? When you were a baby. So you've never been, I'm sure have you seen pictures and stuff? Vanilla is one of the nicest persons I've met. Yes, he is. Oh, guess what? Hello.
Hello. Okay, that was fun.
Oh, I can hear you. Shout.
I.
How
What's
can
that?
I said, I can hear you.
Okay,
Chat,
good.
chat, say hello to Wolfie.
Hello, chat. This is
We are
officially the first time I've ever done this,
yay! I love
and I
your
figured out
avatar.
you love that little
Yes,
the flying saucer, or that's what it's supposed to be.
she's so cute.
It's, I'm having way too much fun with the AI images.
I know, I know. I haven't messed with it anymore. Actually, I tried to go in and do something. I don't remember what it is because y'all know my brain doesn't work. I forget. But I was trying to do something and then I just got frustrated and I was like, screw it. I gotta leave. I gotta leave this alone. AI is cool, but it did freak me out hearing about all of the AI stuff about it taking over. Like,
Well, that's a whole other topic to go into at a later date.
I know. I was like, maybe I should stop.
Well, no, the one I'm using, the one that's with Microsoft Bing,
Yeah,
called Dolly, is very simple. It's not really going to do anything. It takes a little, there's a learning curve.
yeah.
You have to, play with different words and changing one word and changing it back. And I have too many folders full of too many images on my computer. So um, just trying to figure out which end is up, because
Okay.
they're not good with hands and feet,
Oh,
legs
you
and
said
arms.
yeah, you said they added them. Added
I had a couple of really great images, but there was like an extra arm, and I'm like, I can't do that.
oh, well, you did a good job. So we have been talking about the Mothman Festival. Um,
Okay.
we really haven't talked. I wanted to wait before um before I said anything. I wanted to wait on you to come in because I
That's
just
sweet.
I just love talking about this stuff with you. It's just I don't know. We're on
So
the
do I.
we're on the same wavelength. I think
It's a little
you're my
scary.
you're my spirit animal. You are,
That's perfect.
you're my spirit animal. Wolfkinder is my spirit animal. So I love it. So everybody is saying hey to you.
Hello, hello. I'm
And
sorry I can't see the text where I'm at. I've got like
that's
6
okay.
devices on. I'm like, I need to shut some down.
Yeah, that's okay. So we have Valhalla in here. He says, hey,
Hello, Abed.
hey,
Hello, Bahala.
yeah, a bit.
Belela.
Mhm. And Malloy, of course, he's saying hello.
Mr. Malloy.
Hello. Clumsy is here. She's saying
Hello,
hello.
Clumsy.
So anyway, so I'm gonna let you start.
Oh,
And
Lord.
no, okay, so listen.
Okay.
Just I know you're kinda nervous, so don't. You're just talking to me. Just talking to me.
I'm just, I'm overwhelmed fighting with, like, I had to download things to other things, and, like, it was a little bit of a headache. But this is why I couldn't get into Malloy's birthday stream. So,
But now we
um,
figured it out, so you're all good.
I'm not done beating up that other phone, so it'll.
It let's see. Clumsy says, "Mr. Malloy told me I was his spirit animal the other day."
Oh,
Well, you
the
might
spirit
be.
animal realm is a good place to be.
It is. It is. It's a good place to be. Oh, I forgot. Okay, so you know how the other day we had the metronome going.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so instead of the metronome tonight, was that too loud for y'all? Do you hear that? Can you hear that? I gotta work.
Kinda.
I gotta work on my settings. Hold on. Hold on. Because I hear a lot of that and not much of you.
Oh, I'm concerned about my volume because when I get excited, I get louder. So you have to just rein me in.
This is
If
a
I'm
quiet zone.
just say shh, shh.
So you hear it? Is it too loud? Is it too loud? Because see, now I'm hearing an echo of me.
I've got no volume on my end, so there's
Okay, that's
nothing feeding back from me.
that's fine.
I'm on a headset.
That's good. So Abyss says that she hears it. Now I don't know why I'm
Good.
hearing. I shouldn't hear a echo, but yeah, I wish that I could keep that so I wouldn't hear it as loudly on my side. Let me turn it down this way. Okay, Wolfie, you say something and maybe I can hear.
Okay. Well, I can't hear it very loudly, so it's
Okay,
okay on my end.
I, yeah, I'm trying to keep it so that see for some reason on my side, it so it's a fire. It's a campfire. I thought we could listen to
Oh.
the campfire while we tell a story
Oh.
about Mothman.
Tales by the campfire.
Yes. For some
Sounds
reason
good
on
to
my
me.
side, it's loud and it's and now I hear an echo and I shouldn't hear an echo. I don't know why I'm hearing an echo. But anyway, so we're just gonna do that. And let's see. Well, Bob says, shh, I think I hear Mothman in the background, maybe in the waiting room.
Don't look over your shoulder.
Shh. He's listening. He wants to make sure that we get all of the info correct.
To be fair, Mothman has never hurt anyone.
True. True. So I started to ask the chat before we get into the story, let
Mhm.
me know if you think that Mothman is bad or is the Mothman good? Because some people say that he's evil and he's causing problems, and some people say that he's good and he's warning us. So tell me, what do y'all think before we get into the story? And then I'll tell you what I think. And Wolfie can tell you. Oh, I just noticed you have Wolfie on there. Wolfie will tell you what she thinks.
Okay.
He can, Abyss says he can be anywhere. Make sure you're quiet. That's right. Abyss says anything related to moths are evil. Period. She doesn't like him. Bad. Bad. Malloy. Malloy. Tell me if you think it's Mothman is evil or good. I know y'all hear me, so you need to speak up. All right. So while they're thinking whether they think it's good or bad, Wolfie,
Yes.
tell me what you know about Mothman.
Well, there's a lot of confusing stories about Mothman. And one of the very first stories has to do with two couples who were driving down a backwoods area in West Virginia, and they saw something very large. It was a wooded, I don't know if I said it was a wooded area, but they saw a very large creature that was very dark, had bright red eyes, and I believe they said it was like 5 or 6 feet tall. And the next time that we hear about the Mothman has to do with a very real event of a bridge that crosses the Ohio River. So it goes from West Virginia to Ohio. And for several days prior to a problem, people were seeing something very large. And there's an image, there's actually an image of something up by one of the tall turrets, tall supports of the bridge that looks like a huge bird or huge being of some kind. And it was winter, so it was very cold. And something very bad happened. They don't know exactly what. People heard a loud sound, and the bridge collapsed. And multiple cars went into the river. There were a lot of people who died. And that's the beginning of the story that the Mothman came to warn us of impending doom. And now, there were different opinions, of course. You mentioned that there were folks who thought, oh, this is a creature, you know. Um, some people thought it was a demon. Some people thought it was an angel because it protected people or attempted to protect people. So the opinions varied. And then that community didn't see anything for a while. And after that, there were sightings in places all around the world. Um,
Mhm.
on 9/11 in the United States near the Twin Towers, there was a
Oh, I
picture.
didn't know about that one.
Yeah, there's an image that was taken of something in the sky. Chernobyl is the big one. Right before
Mhm.
Chernobyl melted, that there were people seeing it. I'm trying to think of some of the. I can't think of some of the other places. That's the gist. That's the real flesh of the story.
Well, you know a lot.
Oh well, I give credit to. I like a channel called the Y Files,
Yeah.
and the thing that I really like about the Y Files is when they talk about these topics, they give a very balanced opinion of what's. It's not all belief. It's not all debunk. It's here's the facts. And so I can talk a little bit then as we go on about some of the things that came up that were disproven.
Clumsy says she was born she says, "I was born on the actual day of Chernobyl." can't say that word. Chernobyl.
See, Chernobyl.
Chernobyl.
So
Yeah.
you know what year that was? I can't think. In the 80s, 87, perhaps.
I can't remember.
I remember it happening.
That's right. I remember it happening too. Um, okay, so I'll tell you what I know. And I did. So I actually did go back and watch the video that I did. 86, Clancy 86.
Okay, 86. Okay.
Yeah. So I did go back and I had done a lot of research on the Mothman when I was doing this. So y'all know I have to have my notes.
Yeah.
I'll let because I can't remember. So I was watching the video I did. Taking notes so I will remember what I said. But anyway, the first sighting actually goes back to World War One and World War Two,
Okay.
and that probably need to put my glasses on. I can't see. I got my old lady glasses on. Like an old lady. Plus, these are my blue blockers. So.
Well, I didn't want to overdo it today. I just watched the one video to remind myself of some of the facts, and he didn't give all of the information. It was,
so much.
He's got a limited amount of time, right?
Yeah, he does, and I mean he's got a big production thing. But I did a lot of research when I did this, and I did this video like 3 years ago.
Okay.
So that's why I was like, yeah, my brain, I can't remember what I said 3 years ago. I can't remember what I said yesterday.
I don't remember what I said this morning. All right.
I could 2 minutes ago. I don't know. Okay, so the first sightings were back in World War One, World War Two, and it was just they can't say that it's the Mothman. They described the same kind of creature. The name Mothman that we came to know now actually came from a comic book. It was in a comic book, and so they were describing this creature that was 7 foot tall, that had wings like they said, like angel wings that were like behind them, that would fold up behind them, and then when it would come out, it would be like 7 foot, like a 7 foot span, and the creature was at least 7 foot tall. So a 7 foot tall creature with a 10 foot wingspan. And so this was the same thing, same kind of description that they did back in World War One, World War Two. So they're kind of saying that could be the same thing. Don't know. The one that nobody really talked about it until it showed up with the in West Virginia. So the story that we all know is about the two couples that were driving up to the TNT plant where they used to store TNT in these big bunkers, and they're still there. But there was a lot of chemicals involved and stuff like that could have gone into the water and things. So that's part of the things they don't know, if it was that seeped into the water that created this creature or whatever. That's just one of the theories. But so the story of the two couples that were driving along this road, they came upon this creature that was standing in the middle of the road, and it was really tall. It was just standing there looking at them, and it looks like what we were looking at the top. The logo up there. He was like 7 foot tall, and they didn't see the wings at first. It was just standing there, and all they could see were these big red eyes staring at them. And they stopped, turned around, and headed out. They headed back. So as they're driving away from this creature, it starts to follow them and chased them, and it chased them all the way back into town. Now, when it was chasing them, they said that they couldn't hear the wings flapping. It was almost like it was gliding, but it
Yeah.
was above the car, and so when the wings came down, it was, like, around the car, and that's how
Wow.
big the wings were, that it kinda curved around the car, and they were terrified. So, when it got to town, or when they got towards town, it just just left. So, it
Hmm.
was gone. So they're like, "Okay, what was that?" They're freaking out. They don't know what it is. And so they're like, "Of course, let's go back. Let's go back and see." Don't bust. So they
The
got back.
beginning of every horror movie.
So they're like, "Oh, what was that? Was it a bird? I don't know. Let's go back." So they turned around and they went back. And when they went back, it was again in the middle of the road staring at them. This time they saw like a powder kinda stuff on the ground. Who knows
Mhm.
what that was? It could just been in their mind, you know. I don't know what kind of road it was, you know, it could have been anything. But they said there was some kind of powder, like moth powder, you know. And again, it took off after them. They turned around and they went all the way back. This time, when they went back, they got the sheriff, and the sheriff went back out there with them. And when the sheriff went back out there was nothing. They didn't see anything. It was gone. So that's, that it was two couples. Uh, They now some of them say that it was lovers lane, but I read that they were married, so, who knows? Um, Both couples were married, so who knows why they were going up there. It didn't say they were headed to go to the TNT place, it was just they were in that area of the TNT bunkers. Um, so that was the first time we heard about it. And when they reported it, it showed up in the newspapers and everything. So
Right.
that was the first documentation, of recent times. But once that came out, other people started to say that they had seen it too. So actually, like, I think it was, um, I can't remember. It was like a week or so before. I can't remember how many days before. 5 grave diggers were in the area of the TNT plant, or the bunkers, and they weren't digging graves. They were just they were working. They were just there. I don't know why they were there, but they were in that
All
area.
these people hanging out in the woods with no good reason. That's why the Mothman showed up. No, go
They're
ahead. I'm just
No, no, you're good. I'm naughty, naughty. Don't you be coming up here causing the problems. You young folks need to stay at home.
you grave diggers with no bodies to put in the ground.
I know it makes you wonder why the 5 grave diggers, which I'm assuming back in, the late 60s, so this was in 66, why these or yeah, 66, why
5
oh,
men.
actually, that was earlier. No, it was
Now,
yeah, it was because the bridge fell later. So, anyway, like, when they were up there, grave diggers would have been males. Now we use backhoe,
probably.
we use a backhoe, we don't need
Well,
that.
we are talking about West Virginia. There could have been a still.
Oh, there could have been. There could have been.
It could
I
have been
don't know
something
why.
like that.
It could have been. That is true, especially grave diggers, So they were up there hanging around.
That's just the weirdest thing.
So they're hanging around and they see them, but they don't say anything about it because probably they shouldn't have been there. Like you said, it could have been
Mhm.
they shouldn't have been there, but once these couples came out and said it, then they're like, "Oh, yeah, we saw that too." So after after the grave diggers came out, this is funny because I've read, 100 people came out and said that they had seen it and all that. In
Mhm.
reality, it wasn't like 100 people. You know how stories kind of grow and grow and grow.
Right.
It ended up being that there was like, I don't know, like 6 other people that said that they had seen it. But there were a lot of crazy. Thank you. These are my blue blockers. I appreciate that. She likes, yeah, Clumsy likes my glasses. It makes
Cool.
me look smart.
You do look smart.
Thank you. I appreciate
Look
that.
at you.
Anyway, um, stories grow and grow, and that's the thing about this Mothman story. It
Mhm.
could have been one little thing. Who knows? These grave diggers could have been up there sipping the hooch, and we don't know what they saw.
Right.
The two couples, we don't know. What when you are scared, something like an owl. They're like,
Mhm.
was it a bird? Owls can be very large. Owls can be very scary. They've got those big eyes. That could have been what they saw. There are a lot of things that when you see something and you're scared, you don't know. And then you have other people who are going, oh, they take on that story and it grows. So it could be that, or it could be like you're saying. He's up there going, guys, what are you doing up here? This is not a place for you to be around. So we don't know. Um,
And the
the
owl, the other thing the other thing with the idea of an owl is they have a reflection in their eyes when there's light. They have, like many other animals, a red reflection.
All right.
So it could have been a large owl. There was also, I'm looking through, I made some notes too. So you're in good company. I have pages in front of me. Um, there was a large crane, I believe. There was a
Yeah.
bird that it was unusual for that bird to be in the area at the time, but it had huge red markings on the top of its head.
And it
So
could have been.
again, a coincidental, it could have been something like that.
Yep. Just because it's not supposed to be in the area doesn't mean that it, wasn't migrating and took a break.
Right,
Or,
right.
or somebody brought it in. That's how we do a lot of things that,
Or there's a forest fire that puts, smoke in the air and forces animals to migrate under a different path.
all right. Yep.
You know, there's a multitude of reasons something could change just for one season.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of that's happening now because of all the fires and
Right.
stuff. So,
That's
I
what made me
mean,
think of it.
yeah, you're right. Who knows? Um, they've had different descriptions of it. Most of the people say that it's, at least 7 foot tall. That seems to be the same. The red
Hmm.
eyes are always the same. Some people say that it's black. Some people say that it's brown or gray. But
Hmm.
again, some people have said it was white, so kind of like an angel. And a lot of people
Yeah.
have said that it was like an angel. Clumsy says, interesting thing is bird in particular pick up many of the things that we humans can't see or sense.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it could have been a bird that senses danger. I mean, like a dog would stand up for you. Who's to say that, there isn't, a protective
A, a
creature?
bridge that's about to collapse could be making stress sounds that are just outside our ability to hear.
Right.
You
Yeah. And
know.
since that bird type, creature was
Hmm.
seen, um, and it was seen it was like, I want to say 2 weeks. No, 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 wrong, wrong. Oh, my brain just came back.
Slow your roll. Slow your roll.
It wasn't 2, it was 13 months. Oh my gosh, it was 13 months to the day, which this is really funny because my first accident and my third accident was literally 13 months to the day that they happened.
Wow.
That's why that just popped in my head. It was like, no, it wasn't 2 weeks, 13 months. So when they saw the Mothman flying around uh this bridge and was
Hmm.
perched up on the bridge and everything, when they saw it, it was 13 months to the day that it happened. And in
Wow.
between the when they like some of these people said they were having dreams. That was what a lot of this was. They were having dreams about which they saw. So they started reporting these dreams like in November, and it
Mm.
happened the following year. They were having dreams about presents being in the water. So that would have put it
Wow.
at Christmas. Um,
Mm.
they were they saw they saw the Mothman. Um, there were 46 people who died, but there were a lot
Yeah.
injured. And I think that's still the biggest bridge disaster as far as number of people that died.
I
I
think so too.
still is. I know there was another one that was Mississippi, but that one didn't. Mississippi Bridge. I'll write that one down. Mississippi Bridge collapsed. That was in 2007. And that one, 13 people died. And it's sad to say only 13 people died, but it was 13.
No, right. Right.
But 145 are injured on that one. I don't remember how many were injured on the Silver Bridge, but 46 died. So, let's see what else I have on here. Oh, yeah, so they all say that he has humanoid legs, and he has got these big red eyes that are about the size of baseballs. The colors are different, but most of them say black or brown. Um, okay, so no, I did say it was 3 days after the um, couple went after the first sighting. So after the grave diggers saw him, it was 3 days later that the couple saw him. So it was all right there in the same time period. And then, like I said, there were other people that came out and said it, but the story is way more exaggerated. What you hear, hundreds. It was 100
Hmm.
people, but that's like an exact number, 100 people in that little town. They all
Right.
it was like a high pitched squeal, and
Hmm.
they said it was kind of like a really high pitched squeal, almost like like train brakes. You know that really loud screech of a train
Yeah.
pumping its brakes. Um, so they all say that about the squeal, and that's funny because that's everybody says about the squeal and the red eyes, and that's even in all the other times when it's been cited. Um, okay, so some of the sightings that I have besides the World War I and World War II, which we don't know that that's the same, but after this happened, they had sightings with the Chernobyl nuclear disaster.
Hmm.
And then they had Japan nuclear disaster. There were 4 witnesses that saw the Mothman flying around, and they didn't know what was going on. I don't remember what year this was. I didn't say it in my video. but I had brain damage then too, so who knows? That was before the third accident, though. That was only after 2. The third one really messed me up.
Aw.
There were 4 witnesses that saw him, and he was just flying around, and they thought it was weird. And then 2 weeks after that sighting, there was an explosion, and so that was really bad. So again, it's like people are like, did he cause it, or was he warning there's something going on? Just like the bridge. Was he warning that there were cracks? Was he warning that something was going on? You would think that that would be a warning since it didn't happen for 13 months, kind of saying, hey, check it out, check it out, check it out. And, so, Clumsy says the dreams are interesting. They sound pathetic. Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of people are dreaming about that. Abyss says this is an interesting topic. And she's
I'm glad you.
biting her nails.
Are you okay so far? I did see that you had a moth thing, so.
I don't know. Abyss, are you okay? We're worried about you, girl.
Checking in.
Wolfie's checking in. She wants to make sure you're good with us. So after the Japan nuclear disaster, I can't say after. That was one of them. Another one was September 9th, 1978 in Freiburg, Germany. And
okay.
These were miners. And this group of miners, this one was a little different, and I don't remember how many miners, just a group of miners. They saw the Mothman, but this one was different, and they've got pictures of it, and I've got the pictures, but I didn't know how to pop them up yet.
We'll get there.
Yeah. Baby
Visual aids. Visual aids will be coming.
Baby stuff.
We have an image on the screen.
I know.
We're there.
Yeah. So this one was different because when the miners saw this Mothman, he had on like a trench coat.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So this is in 1978, and he had a trench coat, and they saw him standing there again, 7 foot tall, big red eyes, and they noticed that after, I don't know how, like, the trench coat disappeared or turned into the wings, or maybe the wings, the way they were tucked, looked like a trench coat. Not sure how it was.
That did come up in another story, that at first the person just thought it was a tall person wearing a trench coat, and then the wings opened up. So at first they didn't realize exactly what it was.
Okay. Well, see, that
was part of it, right?
So that would make sense, because that's what they said. It looked like a man with a trench coat, and then they saw the wings unfurl, and he was flying around, and they didn't go into the tunnels, into the mining tunnels, because of this creature. They're like, no, we don't get paid enough for that.
Right. Yeah.
They didn't go into the tunnels, and because when they didn't go in the tunnels, that was actually a good thing, because the tunnels collapsed and they didn't die.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's kind of leaning towards the warning thing.
Mm-hmm.
But again, is it a warning, or did he cause the tunnel to collapse?
Right.
And they just didn't go in. So I don't know.
Well, he's a failure. If his job is to create drama, he's really, not doing well in terms of all these stories of people who, run away and get away from the danger. So I'm leaning toward, a positive thing here.
Yeah, I kind of am too. Clumsy says, I wonder if it was on the route home or something. Could be.
Could be.
Yeah. And Clumsy says, encompassing the car. Yeah, it was big.
Yeah.
It's big. Um, so that was, oh, 13. Oh, no, that's not. Okay, so in August of 2007, the Mississippi Bridge collapsed, and that was in Mississippi and Minneapolis. 13 died in that one, and 145 were injured. Again, the
Mm.
Mothman was seen flying around the area before that happened. And I can't remember what time period it was between when they saw it and when it happened. Um, Usually there is some time between the sightings and when it happened. So that
Right.
again makes you kind of think it's more of a warning than an actual he causes it. And then the last sighting, the most recent one that I know of, that I said 3 years ago. I don't know if there's been any since then, but in Chicago was either 2017 or 2018. I don't know. Um, there was a sighting of a vlogger. It was like a YouTuber.
Hmm.
Actually watched 3 years ago. Not now. 3 years ago, I watched the video, and this this vlogger was standing there talking about the story and was talking about how there had been a sighting of the Mothman there on the beach, and like I said, this is in Chicago, and they had seen the Mothman on the beach, and so I don't remember what the description was or where they was, but the Mothman was at the beach, and I guess suntanning or whatever. But the Mothman was there, and
Everybody needs a vacation.
yeah, he was out there just chilling. And so this YouTuber is saying that, and I don't know, like I said, I don't know the time period between when the sighting happened and when that vlogger was there. But the vlogger was talking in the past that recently, there had been sightings there, and so this vlogger was there. If I remember right, it was a female. I can't remember that. But I did watch the video. It's out there, so y'all can go look at it. But anyway, so this vlogger is standing there and talking about how this Mothman had been sighted at the beach, and they didn't know what was going on or why. And at that moment, as this vlogger is talking, there are these helicopters and everything. And she actually has, I'm saying she, I believe it was a female, um, stopped and was like, I'm so sorry. There's all these helicopters that are circling and stuff. And then they realized just like there's a drowning. And I remember so I said in the video that I did, I was like, you don't even know, did they put two and two together?
Hmm.
That vlogger's talking about the Mothman was there, and now there's a drowning right there in that same area.
Oh,
So, again, the Mothman appears, and now something tragic happens. And I don't remember if it was a child or an adult or any. I don't remember anything about what actually about the drowning or whatever. But there was a drowning, and so this blogger is there capturing the helicopters and everything, and she had to stop and say, "I'm sorry, there was a drowning."
well,
And that was in 2017.
there
Um,
have been. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, that's all I had to say about that one. There's not. I mean,
Yeah,
mhm.
the lot of the most recent stuff is happening around Chicago and near the airport. There were multiple stories by security. That's
Mhm.
where one of the stories with the trench coat comes from.
Oh,
Um, and the people hear a sound that's kind of like a chirp or kind of like somebody clicking their tongue. That's the
okay.
sound they hear. There was a couple who actually saw it. They were on different shifts and they saw it. There are apparently a lot of really reliable witnesses with security at O'Hare. People who like leave messages and say, "I don't want to lose my job." Um, December 3rd, 2019. Um, let's see. I'm scanning this to see what else there was.
You see, I don't have anything after 2018, so I don't know.
Um, 2019. Thursday, August 8th, 2019. Um, this is another one where somebody saw it. Large human with enormous wings, glowing red eyes, perched on a rail. Let's see. I'm scanning quickly. Yeah, there's multiple. Chicago seems to be the most recent. Um,
Where he's hanging out.
looking for more dates. Large black wings. Some say wings of a bat.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah, a lot of people say that it's kind of like bat wings or like angel wings, but just like really big um, wings like that. Clumsy says the clicking noise stuff freaks her out.
oh, well, if it's using echolocation, like a
Oh,
bat would,
yeah, like a bat.
versus a yeah, if
Totally
it's got that kind
nothing.
of thing.
Yeah.
Um, several air traffic controllers have seen them. Pilots have seen them. Yeah, Chicago's where apparently it's calling Chicago home right now.
Don't know if that's very good. If it's warning, just stay away from my house, please.
Don't be flying into Chicago. Oh, actually, here's another interesting fact. There's a guy who wrote a book. Now I gotta flip back and see. I think it was called The Mothman Prophecies.
Yes,
Um, a
keel.
good deal of what, yes, Keel.
Yeah,
A good deal of what he wrote was debunked.
right.
Um, he added a whole bunch of stuff. He
Yeah.
was the person who coined the phrase "Men in Black."
Yes.
That's where the phrase comes from, which never happened to him. He made that up.
Right.
He also made up that he was getting, Mr. Malloy, I'm glad you don't live in Chicago as well. Um,
If you saw that.
I just happened to look up and see that. I was like, oh. Um, there was a report that people were getting messages on their answering machines, but no one had called them. That was fabricated.
Right.
Um,
That was actually another guy. Hold on a minute. I think I wrote that guy's name down for a minute. Because I did talk about him in my thing. Um, Gray Barker. So Gray Barker, what was calling John Keel, and he wouldn't say anything and then hang up. And so John Keel was like, I'm getting these phone calls and there's nobody saying anything. And it was all made up for money, to make money. So Barker was playing these practical jokes on John Keel, and John Keel just took that and ran with it to make money for his book, which was taken and turned into the movie.
mhm.
So it's like 5% of what John Keel said was fact, and the other 95% was totally made up.
Right.
So he took that original story and just, turned it into what he wanted and then added. So, like the movie, The Mothman Prophecies it says that it's a true story. Well,
Right.
this much of it is true. The rest of it, that's why they're like based on. But you can say it's true because it was 5%.
Right.
So, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Oh,
a fiction based on fact.
mhm.
Um, there is a website, and I didn't get a chance to go to it. Let me look for it here. That is a map of all the places the Mothman's been found.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Clumsy says, I wonder if the Mothman and the Jersey Devil are one and the same, or are the same type of thing that just have different names because it's in different locations. That,
Well, and that plays into one of the theories of what cryptids are.
right.
One of
Love
my favorite psychics was Sylvia Brown, and bless her heart, nobody's ever 100%.
it.
Uh, but one of the topics somebody questioned her about Bigfoot, and she said they're interdimensional beings, and that was the first time I had heard anybody suggest that. And that
Yeah.
has come up again and again and again that um, people seem to think that because Bigfoot disappears, like people will see something, turn around, it's gone, um, and that they suspect that these beings may be interdimensional, that they can slip in and out. But the Mothman also, and to some degree Bigfoot, has been associated with UFO sightings.
Yes. And that's the thing. You're okay. That was one of the questions I had on my paper to say. So, it some people think it's like an angel, coming
Hmm.
to warn us. Other people say it's alien. Some people say it's, interdimensional. It's coming back and forth. So it's coming into our dimension and then going, like you're saying, it disappears. So why, where is it? Where does it go when nobody is seeing it? And now it appears. But the thing about, is it alien? you
Hmm.
know, or is it interdimensional? Like you said, Bigfoot. You know, I've said before, I'd love to have Bigfoot in my backyard. I'll take Mothman as long as it's like protecting me.
Well, that's the interesting thing is at least with the Mothman thing, there's no direct human injury.
Right.
But some of the Bigfoot stories can be pretty aggressive.
Right.
Um, that's a whole other thing.
I, I absolutely love Bigfoot. We'll have to do that another day.
But more cryptids to come.
I love
Um,
that was
the website.
my channel
What's that?
was the channel that I had was all
Hmm.
about paranormal, cryptids, and what was the other one? Aliens,
Alien.
cryptids,
Yeah.
and the and ghosts, paranormal. Those three things. I love them so much.
Yeah, I'm on board with you there. I've had an interest in this. I was thinking about this just last week, I think, and it's been more than 50 years. I remember when when Mothman used to be on the rags you got at the grocery store as you were checking
Yeah.
out.
Oh, yeah.
I did have birds for a while, and I would buy them to read them and line the bird cages with.
Read them. Hey, it's a good reason. Hey, I'm just
It
buying.
was
Not for me because I'm interested, but because I need them for the bird cages.
Yeah, it served two purposes, and those things they had enough real information in them. But then
Mhm.
they really deteriorated in the late years. It was Bat Boy, you know, women who gave birth to baby bats, and just like
Oh,
it
I
got
remember
kind of
that.
nuts.
I remember seeing Bat Boy on the cover.
Oh,
I remember that.
it was.
Wonder if this is Mothman's baby.
Why not, man, baby? Yeah, and then they made fun of them on like talk shows and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Um, Let me get this website that has all the sightings. It's called phantomsandmonsters.com.
Um,
Now, I haven't checked that out, but according to the Y files, it shows the sites.
mhm.
That
That's,
could be an interesting.
yeah,
Uh,
I'll have to check that out.
yeah, I know. Um, yeah, it's. I remember the first time that there was talk of the Mothman, and it weirded me out. Um, And part of it is the fact that when they show images of it, the drawings people have, it 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 doesn't have a neck.
Oh,
It's
yeah. That a
it's
lot of people say that. That it doesn't have a head. It's just wings,
it's
body,
like, yeah,
eyes.
and human. And as far as, I'm sorry, we're jumping around a little bit here, but like
You're
my
fine.
brain is, playing ping pong. Um, the When people talk about mutated animals,
Mhm.
um, we've got, sadly, because of what happened at Chernobyl, we have the opportunity to study the dogs that have been living there. So we know what a long-term effect of radiation will do. It's affected the DNA of those dogs, but they're apparently healthy.
Yeah.
They look
Just the
good,
deep.
um,
Well, I mean, like, if you look at the picture that I have up here, that picture
mhm,
is what they describe, and as you see, there's no neck or anything.
right,
It's just the head is part of the body, um, and then the eyes. So that was that was one of the things that they were like talking about how since it was there at the TNT plant,
mhm,
all chemicals and the things could have seeped into the surrounding land, which could have affected the animals, which, could have, done, defects on birds and, like you said, a crane. It could have been a crane. They've got the long legs. And then, you take a mutated crane. We'll just use crane as an example. Take a
mhm,
mutated crane and fear in the dark,
mhm.
you know, or even like an owl, because of the eyes.
And some owls are a lot larger than people realize,
And you
um,
mutate it.
right? And I don't know that I read any indication, did it have four limbs or just legs and wings, which would make a big difference.
I've only heard the legs and the wings. I haven't
Mhm.
heard anything about arms. Only only the legs. I, I haven't. I've only heard like and I've heard that the wings when it was flying, it didn't flap like a bird. It was more like a glide, and it was
Right.
like a soft, like a soft. Because when they were talking about the couple that was
Mhm,
describing like hovering over the car. So
mhm.
that but it wasn't like flapping to keep up. It was more like a glide. So,
Like you see an owl, and owls are silent
oh,
when their wings, yeah, they're designed that they don't
mm,
make noise when their wings move.
yeah, they don't want to scare off their prey. I didn't think about
Right.
that. I think hawks are
Yeah,
like that too, actually. I'm not sure. Hawks, maybe.
I'm not certain.
Both birds can get really big.
Right.
So
Now the crane that the people were seeing is that's a 6 foot. They can reach 6 feet tall.
I
I'm
have
sorry.
cranes near, like I live at a lake, and
Mhm.
we have some blue heron and stuff out there, and you look at them and you're like, you know, it's kind of weird to see them because you're like, what? And they'll be
Right.
just
Yeah.
well, you won't even realize that there's something out there like a sandbar or something like that, and you'll just be seeing them standing out there, and you're like, okay, that looks odd. Strange looking birds, but they're really cool. I love it. We have eagle out here too. Eagles can
Oh,
get
wow.
they can get really big too. Um, I can't remember um, how many breeding pairs we have out here. But they're protected, so they actually
Well,
have a bunch.
I'm not far from the Appalachian Trail in my area, and there's a famous Hawk Mountain is a famous place to go and watch the raptors as they come through on their migrations. It's a common activity.
Yeah.
So yeah, we get to see. I'm trying to think. I got to see an eagle owl once up close, and that's what made me realize there are owls that are absolutely huge.
Huge. Big ones. I've never
Um,
seen those.
I can't believe
Stop,
how big
y'all are
that.
quiet.
It's just you and me talking to ourselves. No, there's seven. Well, I'm glad somebody's listening. That's cool. Um,
They're just listening. So I want to know from the chat, do you think that this is a evil thing, or do you think that it is more of a um, warning thing? This says they should start calling the Mothman the Owl Man instead.
that would be more pleasant.
Yeah, I could see that. Clumsy says, we're behaving, huh, Mr. Malloy?
Don't poke the bear.
He's like, he's good. He's good. He
It's
knows.
good.
He knows.
Um,
We love Mr. Malloy.
yes, we do. I was most I was surprised they were still seeing it around Chicago.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't know anything the last, like, I haven't watched anything or really paid it any attention since I did that video 3 years
Right.
ago. But when I saw it pop up with the Y-Files, I was like, oh, the Mothman, the Mothman. Their festival is the third weekend in September, and I really would love to go to that. I think it would be so cool. I mean, they make it a thing. It is a big deal. People come from all over the world to go in that museum and everything. And I can't remember the man's name, but they take tours out there to the bunkers and all of that.
Oh wow.
Clumsy says, I think if nobody got hurt or felt like an overwhelming feeling of dread, I'd say it's non-threatening.
I agree.
But, they really haven't, even though a lot of people say that they think it's evil because, it, it seems to be there and then something bad happens. And then they have all the whole things people are saying that, their televisions would go out and the electricals, would go, their things would be going crazy. But if you think about it, back in the 60s, when this is happening, late 60s, when when the whole Point Pleasant episode happened, that TVs back then had big tubes and it would go out. So it's not like
Yeah.
TVs nowadays. You don't think about that. So if you're thinking about, okay, the tube went. Okay, I remember that. I mean, I remember when that
Yeah.
one. Or
A tube would blow and you'd hear pop, and
yeah,
smoke would come out of your television.
yes. This doesn't understand.
It was so. It was a strange time. Yeah.
Yeah, and just, I mean, things like your phone, you could get static on it. It's not like the digital, world that we're in now. Things had wires and things. I mean, if even if you had a bad storm
Oh
or
yeah.
birds were on the wire because the
hmm
wires were in the air, that
hmm
could cause static on a line. So, there's a lot of things that could have caused that. Even the squealing on a line, that
Hmm.
could have been caused by birds on a line, a phone line, or, all that kind of things with televisions and stuff. So,
Well, and when the phones were wired, you could actually get struck by lightning through the phone.
yes, my grandmother
That was a
did.
real thing.
My grandmother got struck by
Oh
lightning
gosh.
through the phone. She was terrified of lightning. Terrified.
Oh,
Yeah, lightning was not good. Clumsy rather hang out with the Mothman than aliens.
oh
Good.
yeah, that's a
Being,
whole
oh, we'll talk about aliens. 'Cause
that's a whole other thing. Yeah. Like,
oh, oh, I just remembered something. Oh my goodness, Wolfie. So I
yes.
don't remember exactly, um, because I can't remember if it was just in. There was something related about, what was his name? Ingrid Cole. Ingrid,
Oh, forgot
and
about that guy.
then somehow he showed up, and I can't remember. Do you remember? 'Cause I can't remember.
I'm trying to figure. Yes, it's here. The Smiling Man.
Yes.
Oh, that's another story too.
Yes, we'll have to talk about him because he is
He
I
comes into play.
I couldn't
Um,
remember something about it. I just
let me
couldn't
think.
remember.
Let me
I
think.
have Wolfie
Here we
here.
go.
Wolfie's
Um,
a better half of my brain.
no, it's okay. Um, trying to figure out. Um, November 2nd, 1966. There was a man driving, again, same wooded area near that TNT plant, and some kind of weird craft landed in the middle of the road. And the man sat there, and a door opened, and a strange man got out of the craft about average height, build, and dark hair. And the strange thing about the guy is he had a weird grin, a huge, broad grin. And he came over and telepathically talked to this guy and said that he came from a planet called Lanulus. And he said he saw this guy a couple more times. Um, Two other people stopped when there was a huge craft. Um, I'm trying to see, was there anything else? There was a woman who saw a bright flash in a cylinder shaped craft. Same thing. This guy
Mhm.
got out, talking in a strange dialect, big, weird grin, um, and didn't speak, just had this big grin on his face. Kind of like Batman, um,
Joker.
you know,
Joker.
Joker thing.
That's
Yeah.
my picture in my head. Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
and there were just a couple activities like that happened in that area. But there's more. There's more about him.
Right.
I just don't have that because he's a whole story.
Oh, yeah. He's a whole big story. We will definitely have to talk about him,
He's
but,
creepy.
yeah, he is so creepy. Um, and I think, like, that's when with that story, that's when the whole Men in Black thing came about,
Hmm. Hmm.
and now they're talking about the Men in Black with the Mothman being around.
Yes.
So, it seems like there's a link somehow between all of that. So they say, take it for what you want.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure if the Mothman, and like I said, it was that the phrase was coined by Keel, who wrote the book, and I
Right.
don't know if that got debunked with him or not, but that took hold, and from
Yeah,
that point forward, it became a thing.
yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I do think he's the one that named it, but they had
yeah.
talked about it before, they just didn't name it, and he's the one that gave it the name.
There was also this part of the story which I thought was interesting, had to do with the natives from the area, and this is it kind of made me laugh. It had to do with two tribes called the Mingo and the Shawnee that were having problems with the settlers, and there was a battle, and they ended up getting a hold of the Chief Cornstalk, um, the Virginia militia. Um, they captured him. I think his son. There was a young person with him, and he came. He was trying to broker a peace, and somebody decided instead they were just going to kill him. And the end of the story is, he makes this big curse, and he curses the land, and that's what it's all about. And it makes me laugh. I've met numerous Native Americans, and I'm aware of different. I have never heard any true story about a Native American curse, but they always play a part in this whole
Yeah.
like European settler. They always want to say, "Oh, it was cursed."
I think it's just like it makes for a good story.
It cracked me up when it was part of the whole story. I just was like, you always hear these, oh, it's a Native American curse. Oh,
Right.
Skinwalker, that's a Native American curse. It's all these Native American curses. But find a Native American to tell you that they curse things, and you
That's
won't
the
get that
thing.
story.
Yeah. No, Clumsy can probably tell you that um, Native Americans would not put a curse on
No.
you or anything because it comes back tenfold. So what you put
Hmm.
out comes back. So if a Native American is going to put a curse on something or somebody, it's they're going to know that it's going to come back at them tenfold. So that they're not going to put anything negative out
And
there.
they're not going to curse the land because
No.
they had too much respect for the interconnectedness of anything.
Right.
Now,
Right.
there's other cultures that delve into curses,
Oh yeah.
but it's just funny to me, you dig deep enough into some of these stories, and inevitably somebody comes up with, "Ooh, Native American curse," and it's like, yeah, no,
So Clumsy says, I think they confuse Native American curses with elementals, and those are separate.
yeah,
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 I think so. Because isn't that true, Clumsy, that what you put out as a spell or a curse or whatever, that's going to come back at you tenfold. That's what I've always heard. So you have to be really careful what you put out there, because you're
the
gonna
energy will come back. Yeah,
get it. That's why I'm all about good. 'Cause I don't
right.
want bad stuff without me sending it. We
It
don't
just
even
made, like I said, it just made me laugh that it was part of the story, and I was like, oh, here comes the
yeah.
Native American curses.
Malloy, you're right, buddy. It's karma. It's karma.
Hmm.
Yes.
Hmm.
So if you're gonna put karma out, whatever you put out, you're gonna get back. That's what's you're gonna get it back. So you want to always do good. Do good. Um, so see,
Yes.
Clumsy says that's more karmic type of theory or belief. Okay. All right. So I don't know. I don't know the difference between karma because I just know karma. I guess. I think more uh like manifestation and what you put out into the
Hmm.
universe, you're gonna get back kind of thing. Um, I guess that's how I think. That,
I
that's
think it's
actually kind of how I live.
we're finding as time goes on, science is literally proving spiritual concepts.
Yeah.
Um, that's a whole other concept, but I mean, well, for example, the idea of the cryptids being interdimensional. You
Mhm.
know, the the multiverse was more real. That's not just a comic book thing.
Right.
Um, that there's reality to it. Um, it's so I don't have a problem with the idea that these creatures could
Go.
potentially exist in a different space. Um,
Yeah, I don't
and
have a problem with that either.
I watch some reality shows and I take them with a grain of salt because I've known people. I actually knew somebody who uh, was interviewed to be a part of a reality show, and they're mostly scripted. But
Ah,
there is some stuff with the Skinwalker Ranch show where they're
never
using different types. What's that?
I've never seen that show. I've wanted to watch it, but then I've heard that it wasn't really good. So,
It depends. I catch bits of it on YouTube.
mhm,
And now there's a secondary show where they're going to other locations that are sort of connected to Skinwalker or have similar ideas. So there's an offshoot of that. But one of the things they did, which fascinated me, um, they do have UFOs on camera. Now that could be fabricated for television. It's entirely possible. But one of the images that they got, they used a high-speed camera. Our eyes can see 24 frames per second. If you watch the old Snow White, that's
right,
hand-drawn 24 frames per second. And when you go to like cartoons, the Saturday morning cartoons, they dropped as low as 8. That's why they look so jumpy. So
right.
our eyes can handle 24 images. There are high-speed cameras that'll pick up hundreds to thousands of images per second. And they were picking up images above the ranch that
Mhm.
you couldn't see. And I believe that's another possibility that there's things that are moving maybe at a
Just
slightly different speed than we are.
right, right. It's like
So,
my brain, part of my brain
mhm,
damage that I have is the issue between my eyes and my brain. So,
mhm,
like, when I noticed when I went to see the movie Dumbo in the movie theater,
mhm,
it made me the new one that has the live version with that part of the animated stuff too. It
mhm,
made me very nauseous because
mhm,
the difference between the humans on the screen and the animation CGI on the screen,
mhm.
my eyes and my brain could couldn't handle the difference. It
Wow.
made me physically sick. So even something like that, where it's, CGI on a screen was messing with my brain and my eye contact. So if you're thinking about that,
Mhm.
I couldn't handle that, but everybody else, I was like, it was flickering to me. And I
Right.
was thinking, golly, do is that CGI not messing with y'all? And they're like, No, there's nothing. And that's when I realized that I was like, oh, okay, it's my brain not being able to pick up the signal from my eyes going back and forth. So it
Well,
would be kind of the same thing.
did you ever see film of a helicopter blade and you can see the individual blades because the frame rate of the camera is different than the speed of the helicopter
Yeah,
blade. So it looks like the blades are standing still, but you know that's not real. You know that can't happen.
yeah, like a
And it
ceiling
could
fan,
be something like that. You're processing things at just a slightly different speed, so you're seeing the gaps.
right?
That's interesting.
Yeah. Clumsy says the thing about Native Americans is their rituals and shaman work is very sacred. And let's take, for example, she said the skinwalkers. By
Hmm.
definition, the skinwalker is one who once was a medicine man or a shaman.
Hmm.
So, okay, so I need to watch I need to watch that show. I don't know anything
Like
about.
I said, there's an interesting element to it, and if you take it with a grain of salt and recognize that it, some of some of the guys it's just a little over dramatic. It's kind of funny to watch. Um,
She says the shaman turns to dark stuff and then becomes the skinwalker. The Native Americans won't even say the term skinwalker because they believe the skinwalker will be back into it. Oh,
Mhm.
yeah, it's kind of like Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
Right.
I'm saying
Right.
I'm joking about that, but that's kind of the same thing. They don't want to mention it because that'll draw it in. Okay, let me see what Abyss says. Abyss says she loves talking about paranormal things. They're quite strange and entertaining subjects. Of course, it isn't proven to be real, so we can never know, but it's cool. That's right. That's why we
Mhm.
like the mystery of it is fascinating. So you're amongst friends, Beth. This
That's
child.
and maybe at some point we can chat about personal experiences.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I do that. She says my point with that story though is that if a Native American curse was actually ever placed, the Native Americans around right now would not acknowledge it because they below it.
believe,
Oh,
believe.
believe it. Yeah, believe it would give it power. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I see. Believe. She said believe. Yes. And I think I say that with, y'all have heard me preach this. I say that
Mm,
about people, like people that pop in the chat or people that come to you or whatever. If you ignore people who are negative, just ignore it. Don't give them power. Because as soon as you acknowledge it, you give them power and that's going to take over. So just, I totally understand why they would even mention its name because that's when you get actually. So my adopted son, who is autistic, the reason why I don't have that channel anymore, because I did that channel with his father. He was very abusive and very negative.
mm,
And we don't say his name. We call him Voldemort because we don't want to give him power. We call him Voldemort, name shall not be spoken. So we do that. And for Jordan, it gives him power,
right.
not the person. So we just don't acknowledge it. He's just not, he's not there. He don't even acknowledge that that person even exists in the world. So yeah, you don't give them power. We will have to talk about experiences because I love that. What?
Yeah. Yeah. There is a really great YouTube channel called Navajo Traditional Teachings, and it's a grandfather who presents stories. He talks about the ways of his people. Um, I've got a I'm kind of connected to the Native American. I know a few, and of course, I'm like every other white person. We've got Native blood in our family. It's okay.
I don't.
Um, oh,
I mean,
okay. You're one of the few. My family, it's one of those things. It's like
I came over on the boat.
um, there's always somebody that's like, oh, we've got them. It's like okay, but
Mhm.
it's highly likely at this point in the game that a lot of
Oh yeah,
people would.
yeah.
It's
Mhm.
gonna, it just happens. But I've known some and done ceremonies with some, and so I really really respect their ways. And he does mention on one of his teachings that he won't give energy to darkness.
Yeah.
So there's certain topics he won't discuss because it'll give it energy.
Give it. Yeah. I don't want to do that. Well, so the small town guy. Um, I think that he's he's whether he's interdimensional, which is absolutely possible. Don't really think he's alien. I don't. I don't really feel that. I do feel like he's good. Um, whether I wouldn't say angel Um,
No,
but
no,
I would say that. Um,
no.
I've I've said before, I have seen angel wings, and angel wing. It was in my
Mhm.
bathroom. Walked by. I was like, that was the most incredible thing I've ever seen. Um, Call me crazy. And y'all, I wasn't on drugs.
No, no,
Wonderful.
I believe you.
It was wonderful. But I don't see it as being an angel, but I do, I, since it really hasn't harmed anybody, nobody's ever said anything like Clumsy was saying, felt dread or felt evil or anything like that. N- All of the things that I have come across, nobody's ever said that. They've only
No,
said that they saw it and then something happened.
right,
And the bridge was 13 months before
right,
anything happened. So it's like, okay, it took 13 months. It was like, hey, pay attention. Nobody was paying attention. And the bridge
right.
was old. And, I have been over that bridge. So
Oh,
my sister lived in Gallipolis, Ohio, um, years ago. She hasn't lived there in a long time, but when she lived there, I did get to cross the bridge, but so that was kind of, I didn't know at the time. I didn't know anything. I've heard of flood and stuff like that, but I didn't hear about that. But yeah, at the time, that bridge was already old, and you have to remember when that bridge was built. And so, they didn't know the things that we know now. So it could have,
right.
saying, hey, look, you need to pay attention to this. And the other
Well, like
things,
I said, go ahead, sorry.
miners and the nuclear disasters and
Mhm.
warnings. That's what I think.
I agree, and I do think interdimensional. I lean toward interdimensional, and the only reason I would potentially link it to aliens is the fact that um, not all aliens, in my belief, are from the three-dimensional plane we inhabit.
Right.
That some of them are interdimensional beings. So, could it be connected? Possibly.
True. Abyss says she's a descendant of the Choctaw. I probably said that
Choctaw.
wrong. Tribe. That's cool.
Cool.
Um, Clumsy says Native Americans believe everything has a wood, even something like a chair or a rug. It's totally interesting to me.
Everything has a.
Wood.
Everything has a. Hmm. Um,
Mm,
I don't think she means soul. Everything has a.
would be, maybe, a reason. Grandma's house. Well, house. Did you have an experience when you had your accident, like spiritual? Um, no, I can't say that I did when it happened. Um, I live by everything happens for a reason. You just don't know what it is. Even the really, really bad, tragic things, something comes out of it that's good. I live that way. I just do. And even as bad as what I went through with those wrecks, with my brain damage and all that followed and all that, I have I have come out with um, things like that I wouldn't have if those wrecks hadn't happened. I mean, just like the way I treat myself now, trying to heal and rewire and all of that in my brain, just those things, that's a good thing. So I can't really say that when the accidents happened, I had anything spiritual, but afterwards, I have had a lot of things where I have grown as a person even more. I mean,
Mm.
who y'all see is, I mean, I've been like this forever. And grandma's house was way before the accidents. But I can't think, and it's really funny. So when that happened, all I could think of is the other people. I wasn't
Mm.
worried about me, it was other people. Like, the first one was a 17-year-old. He hit me, I can't blame him. That was a total accident. The other ones, yeah, I can blame them, but it's a teaching experience for them. So I can't say that I had anything, spiritual. So Abyss says, never knew that. That's kind of how some ancient cultures had gods for almost every single thing. Uh, there was a god of doors and a god of doorways. Mm,
Yes. Yes.
that's
Well,
so love you.
I I'm not going to share details because we will talk about this another time. But I had a near death experience when I had my car accident,
Oh wow. I
and I
didn't
will
have a
save the details for another
yeah.
time.
Yeah. We'll have to talk about that because I think that's
We
cool
will.
too.
We
Yeah.
will.
Squab Bob says, I bet the Mothman lives primarily off of wood soup. Wood soup is the most common. Maybe it does. I love wood soup. I need to get some more wood soup out there. I haven't done it. It is so hard for me to stay awake when I'm doing wood soup. I'm not joking. I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my goodness, stay awake, Grandma, stay awake.
Oh my god, that's
It's
funny.
the most relaxing thing. And I fell asleep listening to the typewriter, doing the typing. Oh, yeah. I'm like, oh, what?
I'm getting a metronome now. I can't believe that.
Yeah,
That that was great.
yeah. I love that. Who was it? Who was it that said that she was putting her kids to sleep and
Yeah.
that thing was and it knocked them out? I'm like, yeah, that's good.
Well, it is one of the things. I'm a certified hypnotist. I say that over and over again, but your brain waves will follow the rhythm
Oh, I thought
of
it was
things.
funny when y'all said I started talking slower.
You did. It was you were starting to go into a rhythm. It was funny to see.
That's
Makes
funny.
sense,
It does
but it
make sense. I
was
didn't even notice.
no. Yeah.
There is a connection.
Yeah.
Clumsy said, did you? OMG. Now I'm on the edge of my seat. She said that to
Tune
me.
in next time. Same bat time. Same bat channel.
We, love doing this. And Wolfie's my girl. We connect. I
Oh,
swear. You are you're my
spirit
spirit.
animal.
So we are gonna have to talk about this stuff. Um, we both, Wolfie and I both love the Y files.
Mhm.
That's the coolest channel. So what we were talking about doing is um, watching some of these things and then talking about them. So, like the next one that we do, we'll talk about the moon landing, whether it's real or fake. I have not watched that they did. I haven't watched it yet, but I will. I had to take a brain moment the other day because I've been overloading, trying to
Mhm.
get this channel done like I wanted. So I did have to take a break off of the internet, but I am gonna have to watch that because that's so cool. This loves squid soup. I do too. I love it. Um, how do you spell
Metronome.
a
M
metronome?
E M E T R Metro. Oh, Metronome, Nome.
Let's see if it says it on here. But
They have one on Timu.
no, really.
Yes,
Does it? This
that is
is
the
the one I got this one off of Amazon. They're not. This is just a plastic one. There's
Mhm.
nothing to it. Um, I do think there's this. I think this. I was saying it was a little loud. I think this might be. No, this is the dinging. I don't know. I liked it. I was like, oh, I got one of those. I got one of those.
That was pretty cool.
This time I was like, okay, that was really cool. I thought since we're talking about this and this is kind of, you know, let's sit around the campfire and talk about the Mothman. I thought the campfire sound would be good, so I added the campfire sound. But yeah, no, I
That's
like
really cool.
it. No, it's a good sleep, sleep, sleep kind of thing. Um, the guy was talking about uh, the hypnotizing. So,
But you know what we could possibly do when you learn how to share screen? If you get a screen of a fireplace or campfire, then we could be over on the side,
oh, I could do
and
that.
you could have a little campfire going in the main portion of the screen. It's an idea.
Oh,
Thoughts,
that
just
is a
thoughts,
that's a good idea. I'll have to see what I can
just
find.
thoughts.
Yes, no, I like that. Y'all have got good ideas. Look, I am open to all your ideas because this is a little baby channel right now, but y'all know I got a big channel and I want this one to
Yeah.
be just as big, if not bigger. So I actually think I can grow this channel faster and bigger
Oh yeah,
than everyone else. Honestly, I think
yeah.
I can. So I think I can. I know I can. I know I can because I know what I'm doing. Um, let's see. I don't know. I can't remember. They're not expensive at all, though. Seriously,
No, it's
they're not expensive. Um, don't remember.
there is one on your phone. I
Yeah,
wasn't overly excited by that.
I thought there was. I thought the camp. Oh, I just thought the campfire sounds were supposed to be rain. Does it sound a
Oh,
little? It's it's a campfire. It's supposed to be a campfire. I That's the only camp well, actually, I have other fire sounds, but you can hear the crackling of it. My rain sounds sound different. Um, I did put some rain in here. Hold on. Uh, where's my rain? Oh, here's some night sounds. Y'all hear that?
oh, now I do.
Do night sounds. Oh, I should have done that one. Is that too loud? I should have done that one. That was kind of creepy. Looks like an owl in the background.
It's very
Wow.
loud.
Okay, hold on a minute. I can turn it down. Hold on.
I can hardly hear you.
Hold on. Is that better?
Yes,
Uh,
it was making me itch. I was waiting for the mosquitoes to start biting.
well, this will tell you that that mosquitoes are one of the most deadly animals. But is that better? Does that sound better?
It is better.
Quiet.
You know, it's funny. It just made me think of there was I don't remember who said it or where I read it, but if you think you're too small to make a difference, think about being in a tent with one mosquito.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mosquitoes. Look at you. Oh,
You know, one small person, one small act, one small thing can have a massive effect.
that's right. That teeny tiny little thing. Look at all the sounds. I just need to upload them to this program. So I was just playing with it. I was like a fire. I did some crickets and stuff, but I had to mess around with it because, like y'all were saying, you couldn't hear the music. But when I listened to the thing, I was like, oh, I can hear the music. So I think it just took a minute, and it's hard for me to be able to tell this how loud it is on my end.
I love the owl in the distance.
Yeah, it's like that. My voice says this is why I don't like the mountains.
Because of the crickets or because of us?
What? Because we're out here in the wilderness.
Ooh, ooh.
Ooh, they're coming to get you. Or is it the? It's funny. It's coming to get you, Malloy. The Mothman. The Mothman is out
Oh,
here.
no, the Mothman never hurt anyone.
No, the Mothman didn't. The Mothman. Just know, if
The
you see the
Mothman.
Mothman is there to let you know. Be aware. And if you're near a bridge, I would stay away from that bridge for a while.
Stay away from the bridge. The Mothman is your friend.
I think so. I honestly do. Okay, so we have 7 people out there right now. I want to hear from those people. Do you think that the Mothman is evil? And at this, you can't say it's evil just because it's a moth. You can't use that. You have to tell me. Malloy, do you think the Mothman is evil, or is the Mothman good and trying to warn us of bad things that are to come? I need to know. I need to know these things. And for those of y'all watching or listening to the replay or on the podcast, because this will be on the podcast, I want to know in the comments if you think that that the Mothman is evil, or if the Mothman is protecting us and trying to warn us. You don't like the mountain. You don't like the mountain sound with the owl?
You said you didn't want to get a tick in his ear.
Abyss says the Mothman is evil. Aw,
Okay.
poor Mothman. Okay, so so Abyss, you think that the Mothman causes these things? Clumsy, Grandma's house. Your heads up for the Scry class. It's going to be August 6th. Okay. All right. I do want to do that. I have tried. I haven't been able to do it, but I do want to do that. Seattle Judy had a tick in her ear. Oh, okay. Was she camping? Is that why? Okay, so Abyss says maybe. She thinks maybe that the Mothman causes it. Okay.
That would be interesting.
Clumsy thinks that the Mothman is neither good or bad. Okay, so Clumsy, if you don't think it's either good or bad, why do you think the Mothman shows up? Well, I'm putting that out to everybody, not just Clumsy. Why do you think that the Mothman shows up? Abyss says the dude's flying to the problem location to make the problem.
Okay.
Okay, so you're saying that the Mothman knows there's gonna be a problem, and so the Mothman goes there and causes the problem. So it, like, already knows that something's gonna happen, so it just goes there and kinda, like, helps it along. Is that what you're saying? I think that might be what you're trying to say. I don't know. There's so many theories out there. I also want you to I also wanna know, do you think that it's alien, or do you think it's like a cryptid that's coming back and forth between dimensions? Or do you think it's just always here watching? Might be in my backyard in the tree back there. It's hanging out with the animal. I don't know if I could listen to that. I'm putting it back over
That's
on
fine.
the on the on the uh on the campfire fire.
I
I'm
got it
going
used. I get used to it pretty quick.
that was I don't know.
I used to listen to all kinds of soundscapes. I actually had a record. Remember those? I had a
Yes.
record of whale sounds.
A whale. I need to find whale sounds. That's one that is very relaxing. A lot of people like whale sounds. I don't have I don't have any of those. Yeah, no, that I can usually like, I fall asleep listening to that stuff. I think because that night sound was, just the night sound, I usually mix it and add that with, like, water sounds, and so I can make the water a little bit, louder than and then have the night sounds in the background because I do like that, but for some reason, that was really bothering me. And also it is I think it is louder on my side. Um,
It's possible.
okay. Oh, I already did that one. Clumsy. There could be so many reasons. Perhaps the Mothman is drawn to a certain place and time for more biological or scientific reasons we don't know about. I agree.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, and Abyss thinks that it's just probably always here.
Okay.
Malloy likes dolphin sounds.
Those are nice too.
I don't have any dolphin sounds. I need to see if I can find that. Dolphins remind me, Clumsy says, dolphins remind me of silly kids playing for some reason. Because dolphins are very um, human like in their behavior, like little kids playing. I had the best experience as a child with a dolphin. This was so cool.
Mm.
So when I was, oh, how old was I? Maybe I think I was about Biz's age. I believe I was about 12, 11, 12, and I went to the beach to, like, babysit, uh, I went with a family in the neighborhood, in my neighborhood, and they had 2 young children, and I would babysit for them, when just regular babysitting, and the family wanted to go to the beach and said they wanted me to go with them so that they could go out and do things and I could watch the kids. And I was a nanny for a long time, and that was my first experience of, like, going on a vacation and watching the kids kinda thing, so that was cool. So they, um, went sailing. They love to go sailing, so they rented, like, this catamaran, I think that's what it is, where it's just you've got just the, uh, what do you call it? the pontoon part and then the sail part across.
Okay.
So, anyway, so it was a small, just a small sailboat. And so they went out and they had fun. And before it was time for them to, because they rented it, to take it back, they told me, they're like, hey, they didn't say, hey, grandma, but, they said, hey, gee, I was like 12, come out before we took it back. And I was like, okay, great. So I swam out to the sailboat. I got up on the sailboat. We were clipping along. It was so cool. But it wasn't really rough or anything. They're like, you can sit on the place where, I don't know what to call those things. I'm going to call them pontoons because that's all I
Okay.
can think of it. So I sat up on the front of that, and these dolphins, two dolphins came by and was riding right with us, and they told me
Oh.
they're like, touch it. And I'm like, what? And they're like, oh, it's called. At first, I thought it was a shark, because you just see a fin. They're like, no, it's a
Mm.
dolphin. And I reached out and I petted the dolphin, and
Oh.
the dolphin stayed right with us. I gripped onto the fin, and it was just going right with it. It was the coolest experience I have ever had in my life. That was so cool. They are so gentle and so playful, and it was just going right along with us. It wasn't doing anything, just kind of hanging out with us. So that was really cool. Um, I already had that, so that one. Um, so, um, Malloy, Malloy said that he liked such a show flipper. Um,
Yes.
we're getting ready to go. So I'm so glad that you were here. Go eat your dinner, and we will see you another time, okay? I am so glad you're here. You keep hanging out with us. Tell your parents this is a safe place to be. Grandma ain't gonna like any of the bad stuff in, okay? So I'm so glad you're here. Ma, you take care, and we'll see you another time. I am so glad she is hanging out with us.
Yeah, that's great.
Um, yes, I love that.
She did
And
good with the game earlier.
yeah, I being with the kids and stuff with grandma's house now that school's starting. Um, the It starts here on I want to say the 15th, I think. Um, anyway,
Of August?
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Like a lot of them are like the 8th of August. I mean, school is getting ready to start. Seriously, all over the
Wow.
United States is getting ready to start. Um, it was like the 8th, the 15th, and the 21st first are three dates that I've heard that that school is starting. And once school starts, I have a lot of friends that are teachers that live in my area that use my channel, and
Cool.
they actually said that they use ASMR and in the afternoons to kind of help the kids to decompress and stuff. So I'm probably going to do some games with them because I think that would be kind of fun for them to do. I'm going to ask some of the teachers if they would be interested in doing that, and I might do
That's
some
cool.
of that through members or more of a private thing. Just have like their school or whatever, so they can play against each other. Is what I was thinking about doing. That way, different classrooms in the school can, you know, they can different class like we have trivia and restaurants and
Yeah,
stuff, and you can play all over. I was thinking I could do that with the kids, and do something
that'd be
like that.
cool.
I don't know. That's my brain thinking outside of the typical ASMR block and I said box and making your brain work. I love all that stuff. Um, do I know what? Oh, hold on a minute. Um, be like the dolphins. I'm trying to remember. I don't know what you were saying that to. Does she know what? Oh, hey, Mike. I just saw Mike. Hello, Mike O'Hagan. Showing Clumsy some love. Oh, I don't I don't know what. Oh, they're giving kissy faces in here. All right, y'all slow your roll. Oh my goodness, y'all are so funny. Um, I get kids in your live chat. Your live chat is different though than this one. That's why we have to have PG-13 because ASMR. Hello, hello. So glad you came.
Hello,
Um,
Mike.
I know, Mike, you missed our whole discussion about the Mothman. So you didn't hear it, or at least you didn't say hello before. I need to know, did you know about the Mothman? Um, and if you do, I need to know if you think it's evil or do you think it's good? Clumsy says, for some reason, I thought you said bye to everyone in chat, like you're live. And oh, no, no, no. I was saying
Okay.
goodbye to Abyss because Abyss had to go eat and stay out. So I was saying goodbye to her because she's going to go eat. And I wanted her to know that um, I want her to come back. I enjoyed her being here. She's our youngin'. I loved it. She's so smart. I was literally like, "What? You're 12?"
Yeah. Well, yeah, she did really well in the
In the game?
in the game. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I
she's
came
smart.
in at the tail end and
Yeah, she's really smart. And she was in the chat for the whisper reading. I love it. I love it so much. I seriously, I love it so much. And so, oh Lord, slow your roll, Mike. Slow your roll.
slow your roll.
All right. So, guys, do y'all have anything you want to say about the Mothman that Wolfie and I have not talked about? You know the Mothman. Um, I think he's pretty cool.
It's an
So,
interesting story. It's
yeah, go ahead. You said it's up.
I said it's an interesting story. It's an interesting creature, for lack of a better word. I know that when I first heard the stories and it was surrounding the bridge collapsing, um,
Wait,
it was a scary thought. But now I want to go check that website out and take a look at all the sightings,
oh, I
um,
know.
and see where it's been around the world. But
Uh-huh.
now that I know it's never been involved in any kind of attack.
Yeah,
I
no,
think that's an interesting aspect of it.
yeah, yeah, no. There's nothing. Even with the negative things that have happened, it's not like they saw him and it came after them. Like they were talking about it following them. It was
Yeah,
above them. Some people said they felt like it was chasing them, but it could have been trying to get them out of the area, you know?
right.
Like, "Kid, there's a problem here." So, but you never heard of it actually attacking anybody or anything as in a physical attack. So,
There was one story with the Chicago stories where a guy was throwing rocks at it, and it didn't react to him in any way.
oh, see, if it
Yeah,
would
that
you would
yeah,
have
it would have responded. And I mean, let's face it, if you're being attacked, although if it can fly, it can get away, right? But trying to see if I could scan for it. See, I can't find it.
yes, I don't know any of that. Yeah, when they were talking about the Y files, I mean, he said some stuff, but he didn't. Um, he basically just really, if I remember right, because my brain does not work, and I really can't remember what I heard from him, even though I did watch that thing. Um, he told the story pretty much, and he did mention it about being interdimensional and stuff. The
Mhm.
alien thing, it just doesn't fit the alien thing to me at all. I mean, I
Um,
guess it
no,
could
it
be.
doesn't.
No,
Well, like I said, I mean, the only other aspect of it is, is it interdimensional because it just happened to be a being that spawned here on Earth or adjacent to Earth
right,
versus a being that was created by
right.
an alien race? An alien doesn't necessarily mean from outer space. They
That's
can
true.
be interdimensional as well. So,
No, I
uh,
didn't think about that. Yeah, it could be, like you said, a creature that we'll say the aliens created to watch over us while they're not here that can go back and forth and interdimensional, or it could be just hanging out to, watch over
well,
us.
the interesting aspect of the Mothman is there's never a group of them.
Yeah, that's true. It's only one. Even like with
Like,
Bigfoot, you see they have groupings. You'll see like
hmm
families. You have like the
hmm
babies kind of thing, or the youth.
right, right.
You're
But with
right.
the
I
Mothman,
didn't feel
it's
that. It's only
always
one.
just one.
Yes, only one. It's always the same. So it's almost like it's always been the same one, not like multiple or, you know, and they're
Except
never,
that some people saw white.
yeah, that's true.
But
That's
that could have just been
lighting.
similar but not the same.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be a different, well, like you have the Yeti, which is,
Hmm
like the abominable snowman
Right,
versus Bigfoot. So it could be, same kind of creature, different kind of species of the creature.
right.
Um, so it could be that. Um, but even like the one in Japan and the ones that they saw World War I or whatever, they all seem to talk about the same height, the
hmm
same red eyes, um, and most everybody says brown, black.
Yeah.
There were some that were like gray and white, so I don't know.
See, I never heard those stories.
Yeah, I didn't see any stories about them, but there has been documentation where people was saying that it was, the what they what they described as.
Mhm.
But then when you say how they're described, you also have to think about, um, that one person can take that story and make it, you know, like the masses. Oh, I saw Bigfoot, I saw the Mothman. And then they take that and they can turn it just like John Keel and, Gray Barker. They took that one thing and they kind of made it into their own thing. Or it could be like the hysteria thing, mass hysteria, where you hear
Right.
something and you see an owl, which is kind of gray or white, and then that goes into your head about the story of the Mothman and, oh, that's what I saw. So it could be that kind of thing too. I don't know. It's a
There's
mystery.
also there's also a scientific. The word's escaping me right now, but there is if you get, let's say, 5 people who witness something, and
Mhm.
one of them says, I saw, and gives 5 details, and the other 4 might have originally only given you 3 details, but they hear the 5 detail story and they go, oh yeah, and they add those details to their story,
Yes.
not because they actually saw it, but
Because it's
it forms the story. It
right,
informs how they view it, and it's false memories. It's
right.
part of what plays into false memories.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, and you don't even realize you're doing it. It's
no,
just
right.
you hear it, it's in your head, and then as you're telling your story, you can pull that up, and it becomes real to you. It's not like you're telling a lie. It's just it's in there. You're pulling out this story, and that kind of adds to it. Some people probably add it, like John Keel
intentionally.
was doing. Yeah, he was doing it to make that story even bigger because he wanted to write a book, because that's what he did.
Right.
That's
And
what he
then,
did. He sought out, he heard about that story, he sought out, he listened to people who told him, what they experienced, and he took it and he built onto that and made it grow and grow so that he could write a book. And then that Gray Barker, he did it right into it. He was a prankster, and he just played
mm,
right in. He was like, "Okay, so I'm gonna call you up and not say anything." And then John Keel just kind of bought into it. So,
that's and as we go on, it's going to become more and more difficult because the internet now, has made the world very tiny,
mhm,
and people want the clicks, you know.
yes.
So
Oh,
it's
yeah,
more
all about clicks.
difficult,
Mhm,
right? It's more difficult to judge the stories now, and I see stuff all the time, and it's difficult because I like the facts. That's how I tend to gravitate. I want to hear the details of a thing, and um, if it, there's going to be people who are going to add their 2 cents into the mass stories, and
mhm,
it's going to be fabricated, and it just dilutes out the facts of things, and that's frustration for me personally. But
yeah.
people want to be a part of the story. They want to belong.
Oh, yeah. They're gonna insert themselves.
Right.
I've
Right.
seen that happen.
Well, yeah, yeah, it's frustrating, and it always did happen. But with the internet being as big as it is, and
It's more
like I
so.
said, the clicks,
Yeah.
you know, um,
Mhm,
it's and a lot of this stuff, the other aspect of it, people will come out with, oh, well, what's the proof? What's the proof? What's the proof? E- e- There isn't always proof, and things happen so quick you don't think to grab your camera. Now, everybody walks around with a camera, but back then,
they didn't
being in the right,
then. Right.
no,
Mm-mm.
being in the right
No.
place at the right time with a camera, and the cost of the film and the developing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera,
Oh, yeah.
you know, most of the images that get caught are accidental. They're, oh,
Mhm.
I'm going to take a picture of this bridge, and oh, what's that thing in this picture? You know, famous photograph of a little girl with a quote spaceman standing behind her.
Oh,
Um, Dad took a picture of the girl. I think it's even at a beach, and they
mhm.
get it developed, and there's a full person behind her.
I didn't even know. Mike Gohan made this is the words are not coming to my brain. Anyway, he says we don't even see the same things at the same time. Some people see it as a different color, some people don't see it at all. Exactly.
Very
Yes,
true. Very
yes.
true.
Some people are colorblind who wouldn't they would see gray, shades of
Hmm.
gray. Some people, like I was saying with my brain and my eyes, they don't match up, and so things like I was saying CGI, I don't see CGI like y'all do because I see that flicker when you wouldn't see the flicker. Um,
Right.
people, I mean, we'll say, in the spiritual realm,
Hmm.
some people see spirits that e aren't I don't see, I can tell you right now, if I had somebody who was standing next to me when I saw that angel's wing come through my bathroom, who
Hmm.
knows if that person would have seen that too? Probably not, but I can tell you for a fact I will never forget that. So, yeah, you don't you don't see, always see the same thing. Well, even like, when somebody robs a store or whatever, and you have
Right.
5 people standing there and they 5 people witness it and the 5 people see the same thing, and you ask, "What did you see?" 5 people are
Yes.
gonna tell you, similar, but not always 100% exactly the same. So,
I witnessed an accident standing with a friend on a corner, and the police came and asked us what we saw, and he gave his, impression before I did, and I was stunned at what
because
he
that's not
said because it it's not what happened, and I say that definitively because
right.
of where it was a guy on a motorcycle, and where the guy landed, it couldn't have happened the way my friend saw it,
No,
but that's what he saw, and
that's
it shocked, like, I remember reacting when he said it, I was like, "Excuse me?
mhm.
Were we not both just standing here?"
Did you not witness the same thing I did?
You know? Where yeah, and think
Yeah,
about that, I mean, and again, this is think about 5 people going to a movie together,
yeah,
are they all gonna come away with the same impression or story?
yeah. Yeah, no,
Yes,
Micah Hagan,
yes,
you're right. You experience things differently. You can smell things differently, hear things differently.
mhm,
Your perception of something and my perception of something can be similar, or they can be, you know, so like what Wolfie was saying, so different. So yeah, that's true. Think of
yes,
this number one thing that police or law enforcement seems to harbor to people in regards to safety is you be aware, but also trust your gut, yes, or
yes,
instincts, yes. Funny because we're told not to trust instincts. No, absolutely. You trust your gut. You trust what you feel. It's like, okay, so I'm going to go into my life coaching thing first, just a brief second because this makes sense. Um, um, I always, I always say, like, okay, so for gaslighting, so gaslighting is when someone tries to make you feel like you're crazy. Like, I the guy that I almost married that I did not, thank goodness, he used to say, "Well, you said," or "You did." It was usually "But you said blah, blah, blah." And I'm
mhm,
like, "No, I didn't." He was like, "Yes, you did, but you wouldn't remember because you have brain damage." Okay, yeah,
yeah,
he's got brain damage on me. And I'd go, "No, I know, because that's not something that I would say. Those aren't
right,
words that I would use." So I knew deep down in my gut, there's no way I would have said those things or done whatever it was because I know me and I
mhm,
trust me, not what somebody else says that I did or said. So, yeah, I was like, kind of like, okay, you can cheat all day long about the brain damage thing, but I know me and I would not do that or say that, whatever. So, yeah, the gaslighting thing doesn't work on me because I do trust my gut and my instinct of what happened or doesn't happen. But you always have to trust yourself. Not somebody else. Yes,
if we
Mike.
trusted our instincts, we wouldn't need the Mothman.
That's true. Hey, don't that bridge. Hey, don't go
The
swimming
bridge.
undercurrent. You're gonna drown. That's terrible.
The undertowed.
The undertow is gonna get you. It's gonna get you. Oh my goodness. Oh, y'all are so funny. Well, I have so enjoyed this. I've
I
loved
have to.
Mothman.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm so glad you came and hung out with me, and we will absolutely have to do this again. So, while we're here, and I have a few of you here anyway, um, Clumsy is gonna be here next Sunday, not tomorrow, but next Sunday, and Clumsy is going to do her tarot reading, and, we are gonna have fun doing that. So, we're gonna have ASMR. She's been practicing on her whisper shuffling.
I think the shuffling is fine.
No, it is. I was just
I
picking on
do.
her. Shuffling is ASMR, that the shuffling of the cards. So I'm really excited to have her come on and do some readings. So that will be so much fun. And we're going to do that. She's been practice. She needs to do her whisper voice. You don't have to do whisper. You can just do soft talk, soft voice, soft talk like this. You just you can
I've
have
tried to keep it down.
you're doing good.
Okay.
No worries. It's been Malloy over there yelling in the chat. We have to calm him down every once in a while.
Slow your roll, Speed Racer.
No. Clumsy says that reminds me of a story I shared at Val's about my Valerie Knox, I think it was, about my sleep paralysis. It wasn't sleep paralysis. Laugh out loud. I totally understand what you're saying.
Mm.
Yeah, sleep paralysis, that's a thing too. Everybody has to have sleep paralysis. Um, that's why you don't get up and walk around or hurt yourself or
Right?
drive a car when you're dreaming. So, but when you're waking up and you can't move, that's really scary.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, um,
Okay.
clumsy. I feel like everyone in the chat is gonna try and get me to laugh or break my secret with.
Don't read the chat.
I'll read the chat for you. How about that?
Yeah.
Oh, Abyss, you're back. Well, we're getting ready to leave, okay, Abyss? And we were talking about you. I'm so glad you came. I'm so
It was all
glad
good.
you're here. I know. I've enjoyed all of this. Um, Malloy's dreaming about dolphins.
With that ocean sound, that works.
I know. No, he's been listening to the ocean sounds that I did for him. Anyway, so I so appreciate all of y'all being here with us, and especially my buddy here, my spirit animal, Wolfie,
Animal. That's
Wolfkinder.
funny.
I love it. I've loved it so much. And next week, we will talk about the moon landing, whether it's fake or fiction. And I'll put up another poll. Now, I said this before when we first started. I'm not going to continue. I'm not always going to do this on a Saturday night. I'll do it more in the week, during the week. Maybe I'll put a poll for that too. Maybe like I was thinking, maybe like Wednesday. Um, I don't know if that would work for you, Wolfie.
It would work
Um,
for me.
okay, so
Let's see what people say.
yeah, I'll put up a poll on what days because I don't want to totally. I'm being selfish here. I don't want to lock down every Saturday.
No,
I
that's
I am single.
I. T- I totally get it. It's good. There's a lot of other competition on a Saturday night too. I think
Yeah.
so.
So I was
This was a
thinking
good
more
start.
during the weekend. Yeah, during the week, I figured we could do it. And I did have at 8 o'clock tonight. I did have my one of my music, uh, the videos that I did with Positive Minds that went out tonight
Okay.
at 8. So every Saturday, I have one moved over. I had 25 videos, so when they're done, they're done. But anyway, um, so um, everything works for you. Uh, Abyss, when do you
Oh, yeah.
start back to school? Because I know here it's the 12th here. Um, I think in Charlotte, which is just over the border for me, they're the 21st, I think. And then I know somebody that was on the West Coast said the 8th. Um, so I know school's getting ready to start back. And
That's so amazing to me.
yeah, no, we used to go back like September, but
September.
yeah,
September to June.
yeah. So I don't know.
It's
Um,
not as hot in June. It's hotter in August.
oh yes, Abyss.
That's right.
Wolfie is going to be doing tarot readings next Sunday, and it's fun. Okay,
She's very good.
so she is. She's so fun. So you need to stop by. So I'll do like I did this time. Um, we can do like a game. I don't know, and then we can do this because I don't have to really. I mean, the game is kind of like a fun warm up to come in. Um, so we'll do that. So pay attention to announcements. Oh, I also have my Discord
Oh,
available.
really?
Yes. So I'm setting up the membership thing, but
Okay.
I haven't gotten that done yet. But I do have a Discord. So I don't know. I don't know, Abyss, if you have Discord. But oh, so Abyss goes back in September. I can't remember what state did you
Wow.
say? I think you said Tennessee, or or was it Alabama? Oh my goodness, I don't remember.
It's okay.
I know, I know. There's a lot for me to remember.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute. Um, Clumsy says thank you, Wolfkinder
Thank you,
and
Clumsy.
Grace.
Thanks for
Yeah,
being here.
I know. That's okay. That's okay. Virginia. Okay, I knew you were over here. I knew you were on the East Coast. I just couldn't remember. Um, Biz, you don't have to have Discord. No worries. No worries. You don't have to have Discord. Um, I'm gonna most everything I do is at 8 o'clock Eastern. That's when I schedule out my stuff. We might do a few things later um, for Clumsy because she's in California. So her time is 3 hours. So I might do some other things that are later. But don't worry, never fear. We
You've got
want
a
you.
community board too that you can post things in.
Yeah, I will absolutely
YouTube
put stuff
community
in the community tab, so you can
tab.
see
Yeah.
that. Yeah, the community tab. That's where I'll put polls, like what we want to talk about or what day or time, because I want to try and get it to work out for everybody. So anyway, again, thank you so much, everybody. I loved y'all being here. Malloy, you did a great job behaving yourself. We have to pick on him. He's such a lovey.
You
And
did good.
again, thank you for being a guest for our little chit chat here. I loved it, and we'll have to do some
Thank you
more.
for having
So,
me.
so you're going to come back and talk about the moon landing. You have to,
Sure.
because you're my girl. All right. So when next Saturday, I'll just keep the same time for next Saturday for right now. Um, does that work for you? Next Saturday? Oh,
Sure. Yeah.
what what day is today?
Today's Saturday. Today is Saturday.
So next Saturday. Okay, so next
So we'll do
Saturday.
next Saturday again. Okay.
Yeah, next
Sure.
Saturday at 8 Eastern, we'll do a game at 8:30 Eastern because it takes about 30 minutes to shoot that game. Um,
Right.
8:30 Eastern, we'll do the moon landing. Is it fake or fiction? And then Sunday, um, we'll do clumsy. And I'm going to get
Okay.
with her to figure out what time, but I will post that in the community tab so y'all know what time it is. I'll probably set it up so that it shows also um, on the thing. So anyway, again, thank you so much for everybody for coming and listening to our soft talk about the Mothman. And until next time, everybody, Wolfie and I love y'all. And I'll see you later. Bye.
Bye bye.